I'll be very brief. See, the Indian diaspora is 32.4 million strong. They are scattered in 208 countries. And till recently, South Africa was a country where they had more diaspora Indians than anywhere else. But America recently took over. Now there are nearly 4 million Indians living in the United States. And you have at least half a dozen people of Indian origin who are president and prime minister of several countries, including Mauritius, Ireland, and Portugal. And in Mr. Nelson Mandela's cabinet, we had more than half a dozen Indians. And do you know this Indian city outside of India? Durban. There are more Indians in Durban than any other place on the planet. So, you know, this is a golden opportunity, I thought, to have an Indian origin South African member of parliament to come and talk about the kind of role the Indian diaspora plays in countries of their adoption. And Munish knows Omi and our friend Amit a lot better than I do because I met them only 22 minutes ago. So I'm going to invite Munish to introduce both of them. Munish, please.
Good evening, friends, and a special welcome to all our friends, my diaspora friends from South Africa and some other parts of the world, because India just finished celebrating the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in Varanasi, and all of us as a ritual, and not just because of emotional, but now economic engagement with India, come every 2 years to celebrate this particular day, which is in the memory of Mahatma Gandhi, who returned to India in January of, I think 1913 to back to India from South Africa and joined the freedom struggle. Of course, this is the relationship between India and South Africa is special. It is because of Mahatma Gandhi and Mandela. It is also because of Indian migration of significant number of people that took place more than 175 years ago. If I'm not wrong, more than 158. But in the region around Mauritius, I think they've celebrated almost 180 years of migration. So it's a story which is very compelling. It is India's, and particularly under this Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India has pursued a new and vigorous path of diaspora diplomacy that's unparalleled in the history of any country in the world. Major institutions like the World Bank and International Organization of Migration today are doing significant research on migration and what the Indian diaspora means to the world today and will mean in the years to come. So it's a great occasion for us to have our friends from the diaspora, particularly from South Africa here. I requested Mr. Omi Singh, since he was leading the Indian diaspora delegation with the President of South Africa, which was the third big event. Pravasi Divas, Kumbh Mela, and then a diaspora country president becomes the chief guest at the Indian Republic Day, 70th Republic Day parade. So I found it the right occasion to bring in Obi and request him to address all of us as a friend of the country, as a brother of the country, as one of us, and talk about the contribution that he's made in his position as a member of parliament in a country as far away, but one of the most developed countries of Africa, but also talk about the diaspora's story of South Africa. And with me here is also another dear friend, Amit More. He represents a new breed of Indians amongst many of us who have migrated to countries in the last 30-40 years and have now become a strong community. In South Africa, I believe the number is almost at 45,000 recently. 60,000, no guy. So my numbers are old. So 60,000 people who are Indian nationals but have migrated for work as high-skilled persons, just like in the US we have the IT boom. So with various, from various walks of life, with various professions that migrated to South Africa, and now they are becoming a important force in South Africa. I'm sure that Umi will touch upon this aspect of this new generation of immigrants. And the third most important thing is that our youth. India is the largest, youngest country in the world. And you know, in countries like South Africa and other parts of the world where we have people of Indian origin, we are seeing the third, fourth, fifth generation youth. And today, I'm supposed to speak day after tomorrow at the Gujarat University on a very big research conference. And one of the most important subjects is how do we bring together the diaspora youth with India's youth and create an unparalleled, confluence of this youth power in the world. And Indian youth are also migrating across the world. So I'm sure all of us will listen to first Mr. Omi Singh and then a little bit from Amit More. Let me also take this opportunity to recognize some of our friends who have come here especially to attend this event. And among them, another very good friend. I've had him for it. I've known him for more than a decade now. And he's made significant contribution to South Africa as a business leader. And he is amongst those champions who's leading the India-South Africa Business Connect is my friend Dr. Kinesh Pathar from Johannesburg. Good to have you here, Kinesh. Thank you for staying back. And another dear friend who's leading this movement of conjugating the diaspora from around the world with India in a unique chamber of commerce that is now focused only in this direction is Abhay Agarwal. He's the General Secretary of the PIO Chamber of Commerce and Industry and also a member here. And a lot of good friends here who are here. An Indian corporation that's represented by Mr. Singh, Jaikan Singh, National Skill Development Corporation is also moving in, particularly on the India-South Africa Connect. So thank you very much again, and I would request now Omi to make his remarks.
Namaste, Welcome, Assalamu Alaikum, Sanbonani, that's my greeting is Zulu from the KwaZulu-Natal. We say Sanbonani, and the person who is saying it to say Yebo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must say it's really a pleasure to be here. And I want to also say thank you to our President for offering me this invitation to speak this evening to you. Mr. President, thank you very much. And to Manish Gupta, who has been working behind the scenes and putting this together, and he said, it's Sunday evening, and normally nothing happens at this time on Sunday evening. But we know now, Sunday evening is a very interesting evening. Use the opportunity. Always. You always have somebody here. And Amit More, my now become family to me in Durban. Working very closely with me on many projects and in the community and with the South African people that are coming with whatever he could help with. I need to go away there. Mr. Ali Hussein is someone here, start. And if you identify yourself, one of the businessmen that accompanied me, and 45 other people to India in regards to the Purvasi, as well as to the India celebrations, the Republic Day celebrations. For us, is very close to our heart because there's two very important things that happened on the 26th. And there's India's 70th year celebrations, and region. I think throughout the world celebrate this event. And added to that, our President Cyril Ramaphosa was the chief guest. So you can understand how excited we were when we heard that our President is chief guest on the 70th Republic Day celebrations. And we said, well, let all of us get together and go. So we got over 150 delegates this come. I see them, some of the South African delegates here. We also, I think I'd like to recognize them. If you could just stand so that people can recognize that you've come.
Yeah, that would be very useful. Kindly, friends from South Africa who are here, kindly stand up. Thank you. Give us a very nice hand. Thank you.
I want to also acknowledge the media that's present on the Sunday evening. I know that the Jews have a rest at this time of the day on the Sunday. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for inviting me. It's really a pleasure for me to be here. The last 2 days have been very interesting. The Parvasi has been very interesting. And the Kumbh Mela was also very interesting. For me, it was my first time to be at the Kumbh Mela, and I couldn't understand what really happens. It was very good for me to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, India is on the rise. India is now on the map. India, the greatest democracy in the world, is on the rise. But before I start speaking, I just wanted a glass of hot water. I have a cold, and you can probably hear it in my voice, late nights, early mornings. We have seen over the last 20 years in particular, the growth of India, and has been emulated by many countries. And South Africa is one of them. The growth that India has, and we can only emulate that growth. The growth of the Indian middle class, millions being moved out of poverty, high average economic growth rates, the soft power that has been matched by military prowess and the defense capabilities, hubs of the technical innovations and many more factors. Hubs and American factors, even Bollywood, ladies and gentlemen, attest to the prominence of India on the global stage. We all know this. I wouldn't tell you why, because some people say that I don't take any questions. That's by the way. There is, however, still much to be done. I believe that India has done a lot, but there is a lot to be done. Now, this particular visit of our President Cyril Ramaphosa was very significant. The discussions in regards to the India-South Africa relationship is now strengthened in the last 2 days. With our President acknowledging the need for a plane or a flight a direct flight from India to South Africa, and I think President Naika would know the difficulties we have, stopovers to arrive in India. and the time it takes. If that could be halved, can you imagine the kind of business relationship between India and South Africa? Because of time, businessmen and women don't want to spend 16, 17 hours in the skies. So that is significant that both our president has now raised it. There is a need for that direct flight that was here before. Tourism will increase on both ways, so businessmen and women can enjoy those benefits as well. Democratic India deserves the support of all who share the vision and ideas. In this regard, the diaspora have and will continue to play an important role in India's growth. And especially the people of Indian origin have their hearts still always facing the direction of India, because whenever there is a need for anything, I'm talking basic things, our samadhi, you get it from India. At one time, ladies and gentlemen, in the party era, we couldn't get Havan Samadhi. We just do our prayer. Because the party government didn't see the need for that important ingredient in prayer. So you can understand how we've been deprived of Indian clothing. We became westernized to the extent that one never wore saris and Punjabis. So this link now between India and South Africa. South Africa, not that we don't manufacture, but they don't manufacture the clothes that we wear for a traditional Indian wedding, or our during Diwali or Eid. So the trade now, as from yesterday, I felt that that meeting of the Prime Minister and our President has now paved the way to business and tourism. The success of the Indian community around the world, especially in North America and Europe, have allowed those committed to development in India to make a sizable contribution by the way of funds used in investments, new business ventures, and family support. You know, whenever I hear this in South Africa, that somebody has found the village we've come from, and we're doing it on a daily basis, trying to find our roots. I'm from UP, but I don't know exactly which part. And I've also heard from the President that when you're from the north, that's where the cane. And cane come from. To say that my forefathers went to South Africa as cane cutters. And we are now able to be in government, the highest office of the land. That says a lot about a person of Indian origin. Wherever he goes or she goes, that country there benefits from our people. We don't be passengers. We're part of making that country a better place. And you hear about US in Silicon Valley, who are they? So it's the same in South Africa. We have had our good Minister Praveen Gordhan, who will be the Minister of Finance. And to be the Minister of Finance in a country I wouldn't say he was a foreigner, because he was born in South Africa. But within the region, he was very proud. And he's done extremely well. He's been awarded as well by India for his contribution. So, point I'm making is that from McCain Carter, we've risen to politics. And members of the Indian community in South Africa in particular are advisors to ministers, CEOs, heads of departments, and that makes us proud that people of Indian origin are keeping the flag flying. Whilst they as South Africans, we still fight the flag of India because people still call us Indians. Although I'm a South African, they still refer to me as Indian. Not even Indian didn't say you're Indian. We were just having a chat earlier, and we said, why don't we get the correct number of people that live in India, in South Africa, Indian origin? And I said, we have a figure of about 1.5 or 1.6 million, but scattered so broadly across South Africa. We don't have the correct figure. And when you try to get it on the form, consensus form, as Indian, colored, African, or white, people say, I'm South African. They don't know as Indian or colored. Because for too long, in the apartheid era, we were classed as and segregated into Indian areas, colored areas, black areas, and the best of the land were for white people. So it's difficult to get the numbers if you don't want to say the Indian, they are South African. It's a good thing because the country they are in, they want to believe that this is our country and not India. The other very important aspect, ladies and gentlemen, the Indian diaspora is made of 25 million people throughout, and is considered the world's largest community spread over 136 countries across the globe, according to the United Nations. Indians left India in waves, as mainly as indentured laborers during the colonial rule, followed by free immigration from the 70s to today. I think one of them is Amit Moara. He immigrated free. And some left as uneducated peasants as a result of the push factor by the colonial oppression, such as unemployment and famine, and other debt with high levels of education, and some have left as entrepreneurs. We have in South Africa a big community of entrepreneurs that people are envious because the Indian businessman has got a way in which he does business. He's able to give to his clients, to his customers, at a price. And my black countrymen, they find that very difficult to understand. How come you guys can do it like that? And we always say, the Indian businessmen does bulk buying. They get together into bulk buying. And they're able to sell that particular, whilst the other businessman would go and buy it himself and pay at a higher price. Simple. And it works. So you go into the rural areas and the townships, South Africa, you'll find Mr. Patel somewhere, Mr. Mohammed somewhere, right out in the rural states. And you wonder, how come they are surviving? That's the, I would say, our upbringing has given us that knowledge, how to do things. And I always say this to my children, that if our forefathers came here as cane cutters, and I could make it parliament, why can't you? I tell to school children that the sky's the limit in South Africa. There is no restrictions to any community becoming going to parliament or being politically involved. There's no religious freedom. We have, and we enjoy this. Now, after 25 years in democracy. So when I speak, ladies and gentlemen, I have, I'll say, more than half of my life lived in the apartheid era, and the other half in the democracy. The younger generation today don't understand it. They've forgotten very quickly. Some people have forgotten very quickly that there was an apartheid. Just 25, 26 years ago. South Africa has made great strides in getting to where we are today. And as our President, past President Nelson Mandela said, education before revolution. And he said it so frequently that we need to be educated because the oppressor, the divide and rule, didn't want people of Indian origin, all black people, to have a good education. And during that period there, the Indian community built their own schools. Up to now, there are schools built by Indian families, Indian businessmen, Indian organizations in black areas. Because we believe we need to work closely in educating the larger population. All of these distinct social economic classes have a significant role to play in fostering the emergence and the consolidation of New India. We've started it. Our president has come. Obama is here. And I think that the idea is to bring in presence of throughout the world to India to see how India's democracy works. And India is going to only be on the rise and on the rise. Ladies and gentlemen, in general, the diaspora serves as an important phenomenon for non-state actors, soft power, the foreign policy analysis, and individual links between the home and the host country for the people that have left India. The recent kindling of relation between Indian community in South Africa, the rekindling of relation between the Indian community of South Africa and India has brought results of the outset of democracy in South Africa. Changes in the Indian government policies and BRICS and the development platform for this intended for a peaceful coexistence and a broad-based economic development. Indian and South Africans are not homogeneous group, as often mistakenly implied. Social class, linguistic origin, religious affiliation, and the geographical locations and political and ideological variations all tend to classify the makeup of the community. Excuse me, my mouth is dry and I can't chew. So just bear with me. I didn't want to, at the last moment, say to my friend Manish here that I'm made of the flu. I said I must make it, although I'm not well. So you find that I'm battling and I need to drink this hot water to clear my mouth. Hence, every group relates to India in a way that makes sense to them. And I think that's so true. You know, India is so vast. And we hear this from time to time, that people come here to get religiously uplifted. People come here to see where their ancestors come from. People come here to do business, that's very important. And everybody seems to have their own reason to come to India. And tourism in India is so beautiful. India's got beauty like South India at Achata. And that, for me, is breathtaking. And everybody who has not been there, please pay a visit sometime. Wealthy South African individuals are in a position to invest in India, and many have done so by contributing to the villages of their region, by contributing to religious and cultural institutions, through travel and tourism, and by buying property and doing business here. So that what has been happening will happen on a far bigger scale now. And I think that is very encouraging for all of us to know that. Investors do have the tendency to criticize from time to time. But India and South Africa is a growing democracy. a big 25 years. And we make mistakes, and we rectify them as we go on. I know that India is for a few years ahead of us. But I think the important thing we need to say is, give us a chance. We'll make it. We believe that we have now, for the next 5 years, the president is going to make a difference. And that's come very clearly from different groups of people in South Africa. We are in election mode. We are having our elections in May, latter part of May, and I've been doing a lot of work on the ground. And my target has been in a shopping center. We target the voter of the opposition, and the voter of the opposition is always a white voter. When I speak with them and say I'm from the African National Congress, and the president is going to be speaking at a certain venue, with a, oh yes, Cyril Ramaphosa, smiling, there's confidence in our president. So it all goes well for our country, and all goes well for India as well, because we have a president who understands and appreciates India and the contribution India is making as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say this, that the Indian community in South Africa have this cricket being played between South Africa and India. And you wonder, you think that who they support? They're carrying the Indian flag and going to the cricket ground. And we've been criticized for that. But we have this bond with India that we'd like India to win, although we're South Africans. That is not because we're not loyal to the country and the cricket team. It's come from the African past. That anything from India is good, and the one India should be better. So they must win. So we have this difficulty to see Indian people of Indian origin in Durban carrying the India flag to the ground, and you can see them in big numbers. And they're not from India. All of them can't be from India. That's something I think tells you how close our hearts are with India. And when India wins, you can man the streets of Durban. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the strengthening of the trade ties has grown in value since 1994, and in 2019 it's going to grow at a different pace since 1994. And I speak about this because in the last 2 weeks I'm in India, and I met a lot of business people at the Prabhasi and at the Republic Day celebration, and you hear the tones of investment. And I had a businessman from Durban, from South Africa, Johannesburg, with us as part of the delegation, and they talked about investing in India. So I was able to gauge the few people that I had met, I'd say few, we'd actually have much more than the ones I had interacted with, and the interest they have in investing across India and South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this in parting, that South Africa has a unique bond with India. Unique bond because we believe that Gandhiji came to South Africa as a barrister. When he left South Africa, he left there as a Mahatma. And we believe that that period of him being a barrister to a Mahatma, we're claiming that credit, that we sent him back to India. So no other country in the world can claim that credit. So I want to say, with those few words, thank you very much for offering me this privilege.
The Indian cricketers have done very well in Australia, they are doing well in New Zealand too. So let's give them also a hand. May I now request Amit More to say a few words?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Respected Venkat Narayanji, Honorable Member of Parliament, and my big brother, Shri Omi Singh Ji, my another big brother, Shri Munish Gupta Ji, who is also my mentor, what I do in South Africa, my friend Kinesh Ji, Abhay Ji, my friends, those who came here, like Rakesh Ji, and the delegation from Vietnam Yoga, and also the delegation which flew with us from South Africa. My name is Amit More, and I am the only Indian national working in South Africa on Indian passport with a parastatal company on the critical skills. So that shows you that there are a lot of opportunities. If you are on critical skills, South Africa is welcoming you. And not only that, if you have morals and ethics, you can grow to there is no limit. Sky is the limit for that. And because of that, I am fortunate that I am part of this Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, the Kumbh Mela, the Republic Day Parade, and also today's meeting organized by Munish Ji. Actually, I belong to the family of Chandragupta Maurya, and we have been migrated to Maharashtra thousands of years before when they were traveling to the Sri Lanka. So this migration is happening from many years, and that's how people, they have migrated to South Africa, Mauritius, and many other countries. But it doesn't mean like they are now not Indian. Whichever country they stay, they are citizen of that country, but they still look like Indian. And especially when I went to South Africa, I saw a lot of Indians there, and I was very surprised. First, I used to ask them, I thought maybe they're from Chennai because they didn't used to speak, Hindi or any other language. Then they used to say, no, we are South African. And I want to tell you that time, I never knew the history of South Africa. I only knew about Mahatma Gandhiji, his incidents in Pietermaritzburg, but I never knew so many of our brothers and sisters were taken to South Africa as indentured labor and what suffering they went through. So these 10 years I stayed in South Africa and my life has been transformed because what sacrifices the people of Indian origin they have done, I have seen them because South Africa has only got freedom in 1994, which is very recent, and as Omi Bhai said, around about 50 years he has suffered through the apartheid. And the guys, those who are sitting here, maybe not understand what does it mean, how critical it was. And in that era, in that difficult time, our people have grown so much there. Like we have a live example of Kinesh ji, who is sitting here, who is one of the most successful businessmen there. Like him, we have hundreds of people, those who have proven themselves. And also, we can say nowadays, South Africa has given them opportunity, and they are treating us very well. And not only that, now we are also forming Indian Association of South Africa and Indian Expat Business Forum, which will be accredited under PIOCCI. I am also a coordinator for South Africa for PIOCCI, and our plans are to help the people, those who are here. Like I can see my friend Rakesh ji is here, who is in a software business. Then there are various people, those who want to come South Africa, but they exactly don't understand how to come there. And that's how we are going to give the platform as PIOCCI, and along with the South African government, like Omiji is with us. So we are going to work on that, and we are going to see how easy it will be. Because if you go through a lot of protocols and red tape and all that, and we can do, as I said, I always say, we can do a lot of MOUs and other things, but if we actually don't give the result, all these efforts go in the waste. So we are there, we are very simple people, and we believe, because those who want to come there and those who want to make business or be successful, we are there to help them. So there are a lot of opportunities like education, communication, transportation, even mining, IT, pharma, and also in farming. So various opportunities are available there. Those who want to come, please discuss us separately. We'll surely guide you. And also contact Munish ji, because they are here in Delhi. So PIOCCI exists in Delhi, and they are the biggest link throughout the world. I was very fortunate that I attended my first Pravasi Divas, Bharti Divas with PIOCCI, and I really met people, those who are Jain, and those who really can do for our India something throughout the world. And I'm really proud that I'm part of the PIOCCI now, and together actually we can change a lot of things. Actually, I don't want to take your much time, because Omiji is our main guest speaker. I have various points here, but it's very important that we give time to our chief guest, and surely a lot of people will have question and answers. So I think that's enough. Let us unite and do something for the Mother India. Thank you very much.
Dedicated person, a friend over the years, and he's from our fraternity, the media fraternity, and he's someone who was very close to late President Mandela, and he photographed his life, the struggle and post the struggle as president and till his last days. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Kevin Joseph. He's right here, Kevin. Kevin is a very simple, as Amit said, South African Indians can be very simple people but do big things. So Kevin has done the big thing. I want to mention that Kevin has brought out a beautiful photo book on the life of President Mandela, and it's just come out this year, marking the 100th birth anniversary of late President Mandela. And that's the book. I just want to mention that. It's out as a book and also as a limited leather-bound edition. And it was released with much fanfare in South Africa, and we used the occasion of the Pravasi Divas and being here at the Foreign Correspondents Club to also unveil the book and the limited edition right here in India. So this is being exposed in India for the first time. So whenever you get a chance, please do take a look at it. This is a very special and momentous occasion. This year, India celebrates the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. And South Africa just finished, or the world just finished celebrating 100th birth anniversary of late President Mandela in July last year. So the overlap is a very big occasion. There are many, many big events being organized in India and in South Africa and around the world, celebrating these two big men of tall stature that gave the freedom struggles in these two parts of the world a new dimension and achieved the same. I also wanted to mention especially that as Omiji said, you know, the diaspora movement has taken a dimension that today it's not just about affluence and influence of the diaspora in the countries that they live in. India is wooing the diaspora because they can participate in India's growth story. And the world is watching the impact that the diaspora is creating on the world as a whole. The socio-economic impact development, whether people come from business or from science and technology, has been huge and a very positive factor. So thank you. This is a great moment for us, Venkat and me, to welcome you. I also want to thank Doordarshan and other members of the media. And I also wanted to use this occasion to mention that I have started a special show which goes Monday through Friday. It's called the Daily India Report, which is carried on Glow Television and gets into a few million homes in South Africa and other parts of Africa from India. And it just shows the changing face of India every day, the new India, to our diaspora in Africa and to the mainstream African community. So it makes it, I'm doubly proud that you're here, Omi and Amit and all of us. And thank you very much for joining us for this particular special event today.
Friends, Kevin wants to present a copy of his famous book to the FCC library. So may I request him to come and formally hand it over to us so that...
Give it to Abhishek. Abhishek, can you take a picture for them?
Come in.
Thank you very much for this very, very special event that has been arranged tonight. And on behalf of the South African delegation, it gives me a great honor to, on the 100th birthday of Nelson Mandela, to produce this book, the first of its kind in the world. By saying that, I can confirm that this book has been endorsed by the Mandela family and the Mandela Foundation. It's the only book by one photographer in the world. It's the only book in the world of the last pictures of our late former President Nelson Mandela. Also like to welcome my very dear friend Mr. Kinesh Pata, who supports me a hell of a lot in South Africa, and to our delegation, thank you. So, Mr. President, it gives me a great honor to present this to you on this special occasion.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. Because this is a very historic picture.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
I'll sign this here.
Yep. Yeah, Swamiji, I believe you wanted to give us something special to our friends from South Africa.
Thank you very much. I'll cherish this. I know that there's a place in my home for this. Thank you very much.
Let's spend the next 15 minutes for questions and answers. I don't want to strain him. He's not too well, and it's only fair. Thanks very much for taking time off in spite of the fact that you're not well. So there are two people with microphones on either side. Whoever wants to ask a question, kindly raise your hand and identify yourself. Yeah, Pablo? Yeah.
Hi, this is a question for Mr. Omi Singh. My name is Pablo Bartolomeo. I'm a photographer who's done a lot of work on the diaspora. So my basic question is, post-apartheid, why is it that the Indian community there was not able to assert itself and broadcast to specifically the mothership here, which is India, what their contribution in the fight during the apartheid was, and post-apartheid, how they structured themselves and their contributions within South Africa?
Thank you very much. The struggle during apartheid was a struggle that the Indian community fought side by side with our black brothers and sisters. Mahatma Gandhi was one of the founding members of the Natal Indian Congress that merged later on into the African National Congress as the government of the day. Your question is why we didn't broadcast that. Because the apartheid government, during that period, we couldn't broadcast any information. We used to meet, I say we, I think by the leadership at that time, used to meet underground, we should call it, at odd hours of the night to pass on information and have discussions between the NIC, the Natal Indian Congress, and the ANC, the African National Congress. So that information was never broadcast. Was not any information that we could inform the world of what is the tragedy. And that's what frustrated the apartheid government at that time. Even our leaders who were on Robben Island, as they called Mr. Mac Mirage, one of those persons, the mastermind, would mastermind how information left Robben Island to the mainland. It was all secretive, very secretive. So information like that only comes out now. And there are lots of writings in regards to that period coming out now. So in that period, we could. I hope I've answered your question.
And currently, even now, there's not enough coming out here.
Currently, I want to say this, that I don't represent the Indian community. I represent the South African community. Because we've broken down apartheid. And we don't, as a member of the African National Congress, whenever I'm interviewed as well, the journalists ask a question about Indian community. I say no. I don't represent the Indian community. I represent the citizens of South Africa. Be it black, white, colored. We represent South Africans. We try not to put ourselves in a compartment and go back into the Indian era where we worked only in the Indian segments because we lived in the group area, put us Indian people together. And just for the information of the other journalists here who don't know this, I said half of my life I lived in apartheid, so I've experienced it. We would do shopping in a white shopping center or a street. West Street used to be a very white-dominated street in Durban. You couldn't do business if you were there if you were not white. But you couldn't use the toilet, basically, in that area. So when you're shopping, you couldn't use the toilet. Simple. And if you did use a toilet that doesn't belong to you, because there were no toilets for Indian people, you're in trouble. So there was this kind of segregation that beaches were separated. The nicer of the beaches were for white people. All nicer facilities, beautiful land, beautiful homes were reserved for white people. So I hope I've answered your question in regards to that matter, Dave, that we don't want to be always say we're Indian people broadcasting as Indians. You know, I think that's where we don't put ourselves in a ladder. We're in a minority, and we don't want that minority to be left away from the majority. We're going to be part of the majority.
You know, Pablo, I will add to that a little bit. I've been a part of the diaspora now for 32 years. In a different part of the world, a very progressive democracy, older democracy, America. But it's gone through its own struggles. It came through, it also had slavery that got abolished after a long period of time. I can tell you that the first lesson we learn and we need to learn as the Indian diaspora is that we must assimilate in the countries which we have created as our countries of domicile or residence. For whatever be the reason, whether we went there 4 generations ago, 5 generations ago, as indentured labor, cane workers, or now in the modern context in the last 40 years as IT professionals or whatever, it becomes a stumbling factor for our assimilation there and our future generations, particularly our children. I have 2 sons born in America, and unless they are local, and unless we meld ourselves with the local community, we are going to create problems for ourselves. So he gave a very, very funny, lively, cool example of how, being of Indian origin, the South Africans, when there is a match between India and South Africa, might still carry the Indian flag. But in the heart of heart, they are South Africans. And there's the best of both worlds that we can enjoy, we do enjoy it. In terms of your question specifically as to what the interaction is as far as currently, I think it had to take an effort also from the Indian government to recognize its diaspora, the potency of its diaspora, the knowledge factor of its diaspora, and their influence spheres in their own country. Today, if India won the vote of 177 nations and no votes against in the United Nations for Prime Minister Modi's vision on yoga, it's because all 54 nations of Africa voted with India. And they wouldn't vote with India if we created a segregation between Indians living in South Africa and the rest of the population. It is already an issue in many countries, vis-a-vis a lot of diaspora, Indians too. So that's an important thing, but India is paying attention. The government has made significant overtures, significant contact with the diaspora populations across the world. The Indian missions are actually reaching out to the diaspora population because they want to use them as the foundation for their extension to these countries. And that's what I started with. Diaspora diplomacy has become a very important tool for India today. And it's going to also help with trade, with economics, with commerce. And that's the sentiment. It's the same sentiment of being an Indian that brings me back to India and would invest in India's future now that there is a new India. Thank you.
This is about the entire continent of Africa. There are different trading blocks in Africa. But there was a proposal and it was signed that they should have a Pan-African block, trading block. It has been signed, but some countries have not ratified or signed it. So what is the current stand and current position on this? Could you explain? Because if there is one unified trading bloc in Africa. So it will be very difficult for, very easy for other countries to trade with the continent.
But I want to say that when I don't know the answer, I will tell you that I don't know the answer. And I don't have information on this Pan-African trading bloc. But I will look into that.
I want to ask you an easy one and a difficult one, if I may. The easy one is, if you ever came across Nelson Mandela and what he said to you personally, if you could tell us a little bit about that. And the harder one is coming to you as an Indian who's lived for a few years in South Africa. And my, what's the word? I get goosebumps when I think about the parallels between India and South Africa. I mean, I think there's one other nation on earth, even though I'm married to a person from a different nationality, there's one other nation on earth that I would think of as my other country, it is South Africa. And I think the reason for that is, clapping. I think the reason for that is that, our countries have this deep historic relationship, this connection between Gandhiji, our freedom, and the fact that if you hadn't perhaps been in South Africa, I may or may not be a free citizen in India today. So to me, it's beautiful that, that relationship. But the difficult question is, you're only 25 years old and we're more than 70 years old. But on the face of it, you seem to be doing better than we are. Why would you say that is, and what is it that you could tell us that we can catch up with you?
You asked the difficult question. You have asked the difficult question. I believe that India is doing pretty well. I don't believe that we can teach India a thing or two. We are learning from India ourselves. We hear this all the time from leaders that come here, ministers that come here, religious leaders that come here. Our president will come here now. When he gets back, I know that he's going to mention this in the State of the Nation address on the 11th of February, opening of Parliament. The thing that he has done while he was here. Your parade, for example, the Republic Day parade, we learned a lot from that. We can't match that. So, you guys are doing very well. And I think that give yourselves a round of applause. Nelson Mandela.
Diplomatic. No, it is a realistic answer, I would say. Diplomatic answer.
Yes.
I would say realistic. I love my India and Africa also.
The question on Nelson Mandela, my good friend Kevin Joseph, I could say opened doors to Nelson Mandela because Kevin was very close to Kevin, even during the last days of his life. He called Kevin to the bedside and spoke to him. He was the only person allowed to take pictures of Nelson Mandela while in hospital in the sea. And I had the opportunity to meet with him. And in that meeting, I could tell you this, you have goosebumps. You don't want to, you lose all the words that you want to express and ask questions and talk to him. You lose it when you meet him. But he had this charisma that he realizes that you are all very tense, and he'll say something funny and you realize that you're in good company. And he said this, that the country is ours, and everybody in this country, every citizen, be it black, white, or green, will have equal opportunity. And he emphasized the fact that it's equal because in our discussions, we were talking about the apartheid past vis-a-vis that was just round about when he came out of prison. He came to the Mariamman Temple in Phoenix. That was my constituency at that time. And we were chatting about the opportunities that we didn't have during the apartheid era. And he assured that opportunities would be equal. And that was very assuring. I know that I could remember him in his voice, he had a very strong voice, saying, I was a very young man at that time as well, not that old now. And he would touch on the shoulder and talk to you. And, so I had that experience.
Thank you. Now, what you want to ask question? That's the last question.
Last one. Okay. Yeah, good evening to everyone here. My name is Rakesh Manan and I've been into technology subject for last 20 years. My question is to Mr. Omi, but before that I ask the question, I can't stop myself saying that Mr. Omi, you resemble our Bollywood hero, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Your face cuts are similar to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah, and this style of speaking also. So I actually couldn't stop myself saying this.
Thank you.
So my question here is, like, I have been working in and with African countries for last 10 years into technology subject, being into IT and technology more of. I've seen the scope and the acceptance of Indian IT companies in other African countries very well. Like, I've been working with Nigeria, with DRC Congo, with Kenya, and a couple of other countries. I would like to understand from you, what is the scope and the acceptance in South Africa for Indian IT companies to be there and prove our worth, so that, it should be a win-win situation. Because I've seen that the in-house companies in South Africa may not be going to accept it very well. Of course, the Indian companies are always looking towards India and Indian IT companies to come back and deploy the softwares and all that. But how about the South African companies and the other foreign companies?
Rakesh, I will say that there should be no fear and concern, because the companies that come from India have got so much of technology that we can only learn from. It will be accepted. We've had a bad experience, and I'm going to say this. My family in South Africa, they took advantage of government. Took advantage of government and exploited us. If one family. And that has given bad taste, there's a bad taste in the local people, that Indians want to exploit the African people. We were in fact getting on very well till this family started off in IT, calling themselves some repair business in IT. And thereafter got into government, tenders and so forth. But I want to say is that I don't see a problem. And this is the vehicle that you're going to use, and we will help you in whichever way you can.
Thank you.
So we welcome you.
We need to do a couple of things before I invite Munish to propose a vote of thanks. One is the cameramen. Some of them didn't get a picture of the book, Kevin presenting the book to me. We're going to repeat that particular shot. After that, I'm going to request all the South African friends who are here we're going to present to you a mug like this, specially designed to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Foreign Correspondents Club. So I will be requesting you shortly to come and stand in a queue. We will come down and join. And each one of you will get a mug like this so that you can take it back as a memento of your visit to our club. Now, Kevin, please.
Thank you very much. Sir, what you said about our Member of Parliament, Ms. Roni Singh, is quite correct. We have the same problem in South Africa. And now that you've confirmed it, yes. We're all going to sign this book. On this occasion, there is a page available. I want every one of you to put a message here. Is that fine? Please. Is it stored? Sorry, ma'am. Yes, no problem. Because I know, I believe, I've heard about this club the first time I'm coming here. You guys are the greatest in the world. We want to do lots of interaction, a lot of business. And to this book, with your signature, it's going to take us to a new level, a better level, and long live India, long live South Africa, with the relationship that we have throughout the world. Every one of you all need to put a signature. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Kevin to do something that would surprise you, an invitation of Nelson.
Uncle. Our member of the parliament has half the after. And for everybody of you, Mr. P.S. Papa, Mr. Gupta, Manish Gupta, and Mr. Amit Moore. Thank you.
May I request all our friends from South Africa to come and join us here, please? South Africa.
Mr. Commercial, we've just got just a few more copies before I'm flying out in a few hours' time to South Africa of this book. If any one of you are interested, the book will be 75 US, or you can be paying in rupees. Just raise your hands and we will have some copies.
Please bring those back. But bring Obi.
You know, I can send there. You'll buy more books for me.